Exciting finish for the women. For the men, we are in store for the same exact thing. Texas A&M has won the women's championship, and there is a chance that they could win the men's title. Texas A&M sneaking its way now with an opportunity. They would have to win the 4x400 meter relay for Pat Henry to win the dual championship once again. He has won 3 women's titles in a row. The men's team has won back-to-back as well. And here we go for the men's championship. Florida State, no more scoring opportunities. They are stuck on 54 points. Florida has 50 points, and they have to finish 4th or better to win the national championship.
Christian Taylor due to lead off, and they've got Sean Obinwa, who is their 800-meter runner anchoring, and Tony McQuay, who has run so well at 400 meters, is scheduled to run the 3rd leg.
Meanwhile, Texas A&M, for them to win the national championship, they have to win this event. We know they're capable. They're running out of lane 6.
They're definitely capable. They're the collegiate leader this year. They're leading off with Joey Roberts and ending with Tiberi Henry, the international star with international experience.
Florida, Delaware State, Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Your lane assignments in the men's 4x400 meter relay. Eyes will be on lane 1 and lane 6.
Christian Taylor coming off a big win in the triple jump. He's definitely redeemed himself and might be doing well to do the first leg for Florida.
And Brian Miller is now going to run the first leg for Texas A&M. As it's all come down to this, the men's 4x400 meter relay. Texas A&M still with an opportunity to win the national championship. They've got to win this race and then hope for some other things to go their way. And we finally have a clean start in the 4x4. Florida, lane 1, Texas A&M in lane 6. Christian Taylor, the lead leg for Florida. Brian Miller for the Aggies.
Christian Taylor has a lot of work to do running out of lane number 1 all the way to the right of your screen. Brian Taylor just passing right there for Texas A&M is running well, but you can never count out Baylor University with Zweed Hewitt running the first leg for Baylor. They're moving out nicely in the green right there, passing on your screen.
Joey Roberts from A&M is right now about even. Excuse me, Brian Miller's been substituted. He's about even with Baylor. Watch the stick pass. It'll tell you who's got the lead. They're about even, maybe A&M by inches.
And Florida also had a nice handoff right in 3rd position. Now we wait for the break for the pole around the turn.
The scenario here, Florida has to finish 4th or better with a shot to win the national championship. Texas A&M, with Pinder running this second leg, has to win it outright and hope for Florida to fade a bit in this 4x4. Florida last year came up 1 point shy of a national championship.
And right now, Ian, the same thing might happen. They're in 7th place at the moment is Florida. They got work to do.
Texas A&M just blowing away the field right now as Pinder hands it off to Michael Preble.
Michael Preble, their 800-meter runner for Texas A&M. I'll tell you, Texas A&M, this gentleman ran the 800 meters for their team this year. The first time in a while that A&M has had an 800-meter runner on their team, and he is looking very good. Florida well back in the pack in 7th position. They've got some work to do.
So Texas A&M right now taking care of business. LSU is in 2nd place behind the Aggies.
Florida not gaining at this point. They're actually running a better leg here, but they're still back in 7th place.
7th place is not going to get it done for Florida. Texas A&M, it's Henry, the final leg. Tabari Henry, the senior, trying to bring it home for the Aggies.
Tabari Henry, it's going to be awful difficult to catch that gentleman.
But LSU is closing.
They are closing.
Tabari Henry is losing steam, and right now it is Riker Hilton, the junior, closing in on Henry.
Henry, with the Olympic experience from the U.S. Virgin Islands, is running well.
Texas A&M wins it, the 4x400 meters. Texas A&M has come all the way back in this competition to put themselves in a position to win the national championship.
Now here comes your math test. Right now, here comes your math test. Tabari Henry did not do it in the 400, but he kept himself together to finish up that 4x4.
Florida has officially finished in 6th place.
Now right here, Tabari Henry, U.S. Virgin Islands and Texas A&M is in the lead, but LSU is swinging wide with Riker Hilton to try to do some damage. But look at Tabari Henry's face. Look at his demeanor. He is dead serious here. He wants to win this race.
Great arm action by him. Great pull down the stretch. It looked like he saved a little bit. Somebody was going to run wide on him if they got up to him like Hilton, but he held his inside position. And look at the arm action and the drive down the stretch for a national title.
You do the math, and yes, Texas A&M is once again national champion. The Aggies have done it for the 3rd year in a row. Texas A&M is on top of the track and field world. Pat Henry let the celebration begin. The women came through in the 4x4, and yeah, kiss this one goodbye.
And the cell phones start working.
You think the texts are going?
Yeah, they're texting.
Terrific time, the 2nd fastest by a collegiate team in the country. Only another Texas A&M race earlier was faster.
They overtake Florida State for the national championship.
It's Juan de la Garza, their field coach. He just gave a big hug too, and all the members of the team that have contributed. And I'll tell you, their men won their first Big 12 championship in a while this year also, preparing themselves for this competition.
You know that it comes down to the final event, and to come through the way that they did on both ends, the women and the men.
And the last leg of each relay making the difference.
Exactly.
That's why I said the last minute of a 4-day meet decides the national titles in both competitions.
Jessica Beard for the women, Tabari Henry for the men.
And we just saw the men's triple jump. Julian Reed getting that big 3rd place for Texas A&M was also another factor. We watched Florida gain 1st and 2nd in that particular event, but Julian Reed with a 3rd place finish for Texas A&M also added those points.
The Aggies again on top. Yellow flag was thrown, but celebration for Pat Henry and company, anticipating the national championship.
You know what it tells me also with the yellow flag and A&M as we watch these athletes, they seem very confident that they didn't do anything wrong, that everything's okay. We'll see what the judges have to say and what the issue is, but they seem fine, and usually that's an indication that maybe they're okay if there's a yellow flag dealing with somebody else.
There was that final exchange just in the back there.
It might have been the baton drop there by one of the teams, but it's tough to see what could have gone wrong.
Texas A&M. Now the congratulations are coming out.
That's Dennis Shaver on the left, the LSU coach who worked under Pat Henry for so many years, and LSU elevated him to the head coaching position and has maintained this terrific program at LSU that Pat Henry started. Congratulating Henry on his title.
And yes, we've just received the word. It's official. Texas A&M, your national champion once again.
Look at those team title points. Amazing.
The trophy belongs to the Aggies. The women and the men come through here in Des Moines. For our entire CBS Sports crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Iowa. The PGA Tour on CBS is coming up. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.